special program about the worst films of 1992, and we each picked the year's absolutely worst film, and for me, that would have to be Shining Through. There have been a lot of unlikely thrillers over the years about spies behind enemy lines, but Shining Through has got to be the most implausible, and is my choice for the year's worst film. It starred Melanie Griffith as the secretary for Michael Douglas, who is apparently a lawyer, but as she figures out right away by looking at some papers on his desk, he's really a spy. Not a very good spy either. She is perfectly bilingual in English and German, and so when World War II breaks out, she wants a job behind Nazi lines. And to prove she could fool the Nazis by going undercover as a cook, she shows Douglas what a convincing strudel she can bake.
I want you to taste my strudel, the way my grandmother taught me to make it, and my apple compote. She taught me to cook German style, the way my grandfather likes it. And I could cook for 50 if I had to. 5 courses, the way they do it in Berlin. And on nights when they didn't have people over, I could bring tea and strudel up to the Drescher's study and put a little schnapps in the tea so that Horst and Hedda would get tired and could retire early, and I could be left alone in the study to clean up. This is not about you and me, damn it. I want to do something important with my life.
Shining Through didn't just stretch credibility, it redefined it. I especially like the repeated scenes where the Douglas character, who speaks no German whatsoever, travels all over Germany on 4 or 5 different trips simply by wearing a bloody bandage around his neck and holding up a card saying he can't speak because of his neck wound. Of course, in order to give the appropriate nonverbal responses, he'd at least have to be able to understand German, but this movie didn't have time for real subtle points like that.
And then, of course, there's the conclusion where we see the all-time movie cliche is that you don't shoot a bullet over a border. I mean, if you can make it across a border, you're absolutely safe. Nobody ever takes the risk.
So he's got her in his arms. He has a bullet in one leg. They keep shooting at him. They're lousy shots.
Naturally.
And they've got the they've got the border marked with a chalk stripe, like the end goal, end line in a football field. If he can make it across that line, he's home free.
At that point, the audience, whatever audience was there, and there wasn't many, when I saw it, it's roaring. Okay, I think I can top you. Just calm down. My choice of the single worst film of 1992 is Frozen Assets. Actually, I'm going to tell its story.
That's true.
We had a coin flip on this one. Roger hated it too. I won the right to skewer this picture. He knows it's worse than Shining Through.
It probably is. Yes, I would concede that.
Okay.
Yes.
What we have here, again, is a comedy without laughs, as Corbin Burnson plays a hapless executive sent to fix up a failing bank, and guess what? He doesn't know it, but you're not going to believe this, but it's a sperm bank. Naturally, he and the sperm bank technician, Shelley Long, hate each other at first sight, which of course means they're going to fall for each other eventually.
Everybody thinks I'm so straight and narrow. And I'll tell you, from the first moment I laid eyes on you, I wanted to jump your bones.
My mouth was agape during much of this picture. I couldn't believe it. This film seemed like it was directed in slow motion. The jokes clunked. I can't believe that Corbin Burnson and Shelley Long, stars of 2 hit TV shows, L.A. Law and Cheers, didn't know that there wasn't a genuine laugh here, that the timing was all off, way too slow. I was embarrassed for them, even though they were getting paid. This was stunning.
Frozen Assets was truly in a category all by itself. Now, earlier in the year, you were begging me to go to the Alan Alda picture.
Yes, and
because you felt that I needed it as a kind of a critical touchstone so that I would know what was good and what was bad. I think that people should probably go to see Frozen Assets, and maybe if they have time, Shining Through, rent them on video, in order to know, you know, sometimes people come up to you on the street and say, how could you give that movie a good review? And the answer could be, have you seen Frozen Assets?
You know, I think that what we have here is possibly a bad film festival for people to rent.
That would be, yes, especially if you have a lot of friends over and you hope they'll all go home.
You just put on Folks in the cassette.
That'll
That'll clear the room.